Good afternoon. My name is Thayden, and I'm here with a very special guest, Mr. John Fielding. Thank you for being here. We're happy that you chose to be part of this exciting project. What branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Coast Guard.
Okay. Why did you choose that branch?
Well, my whole life has been on the water. My father had a boat at Tripp's Boatyard, and I just loved the ocean. So I decided to go in the Coast Guard.
Did you fish on the boat, or what did you do with your father on boat?
My father, yeah, I did. We did a lot of fishing. We go swimming and cooking out on the beach, and then going home. He left it at Tripp's Boatyard.
Just enjoying the water life, I guess.
Right.
When did you serve in the military?
I served from
Or not?
January 6, 1964, until December 6, 1967. Those were the years.
Where did you serve?
I started off in Boston, and they transferred me to Wilmington, North Carolina. And from there, I did a lot of ocean station patrols. And in I was on a Cuban exodus, which was a big one. They wouldn't let us sleep below decks. We had to sleep up on deck because there was rescues 24/7 for 1 month.
Dang.
And that was tough.
Yeah, sounds tough.
But when you don't want to be converted to communism, you want to get out of there. And they were leaving. There was a lot of boats. A lot of relatives came down from Miami, picked them up, and a lot of them didn't make it. We got caught in some bad storms, and that's where we had 4 planes working with us. There was 6 or 7 cutters down there. I was on the lead cutter, the McCullough, and had some tough nights.
I can imagine.
Yeah, there was one night it was real rough, and there was a family, a mother. The father was deceased. There was a mother and 2 sons. The sons were they were not 12 yet. And the mother said, "We got to go right now, because when you're 12, Castro's got them in the military, in his military." So they went on a boat, and the boat was sinking that night, and we saved them. And it's crazy how this happened, because the boy was sick, he was soaking wet, and the doctor on our ship said, "We're going to fix you up, okay?" He says, "How old are you?" He says, "I'm 11. And today, so the doctor says, 11 today? So he called the galley. He said to Joe Pickens, "I want a little sheet cake made. You don't have to put a name on it or a number, just a little cake." It was a birthday cake.
Yeah.
So he never forgot that. They
That's
they
nice.
did that for him. And so his wife called Washington, D.C. She wanted to talk to somebody about the Coast Guard, and she called him the captain, and he was a doctor. So the doctor says, Washington gave her Harold Cogman's phone number. He lived in Vegas, and she called him. She said, "This might sound like a strange phone call to you, because you saved my husband's life, and you made him a little cake." He says, "Who is this?" She says, "My name is Elizabeth Diaz," and the son's name was, I can't say it now. Pepe was one brother. Angel. She says, "My name is Angel Diaz." And so he told the story, and Harold Cogburn invited the family to Wilmington to a ship's party. We have a reunion every 2 years, or every 5 years. 5 years. So they came to the reunion from Miami. They drove up in a big motorhome.
Wow.
And that night they pulled up into the blockade runner. It was pouring rain. And he says, this is like the day you guys picked me out of the water and gave me clothes to wear and, and food to eat. And so that was the end of the patrol. That was a blessing. And I go to reunions every 5 years, but now the guys are so old that we can't do it no more. I mean, I'm 84, so it's just a matter of time. It's just I can't travel far.
Yeah.
And I have a new heart from a cow, but that's okay. So I'm enjoying my life here.
Yeah.
And we still correspond. They still call. They send emails, and I have pictures of them now, how they look. You guys hear me now? All right. So that's about it.
Well, thank you for telling your story, and thank you for participating in this project, and thank you for your service to our nation.
Well, I'm happy to be here to tell you the story,
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are not here. Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, it's tough. When you live with somebody for 4 years on a ship, you get kind of close to them, You have breakfast and dinner and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah. So you said you were stationed out in Cuba, right?
I was sent to Cuba, Camarioca. It's a beautiful island, and communism is another thing. That these people, Castro came into it, took their homes away from them, their houses, they took everything, and so they left. It was a legal lift. They did it legally. Some of them were not. They'd come out in these old boats, and they were told that those big white ships out there, the closer you get to them, the further they go away. You never get to them. But that wasn't the story. The story was we accepted, we brought everybody on board. And they got sick as a dog because they're not used to that slow roll, And but we had medication for that too.
Yeah.
It wasn't seasick pills. It was regular salt water tablets that we gave them. So it's a lot of it's up here. It's motion sickness. But they were happy with us. They were fed, and I can't tell you some of the things that we had to do. It's a woman thing, because we had men and women and children. We had 2 sets of twins one night. We had 4 girls, and one of the little girls was with his mother and father. That's all they had was a little canvas bag. I didn't know what was in the bag. And I said, hey, what's in that bag? So she opens the bag up, and a kitty cat sticks his head out. Starts looking around. That's all she had was a mom and dad and a kitty cat. That's it.
Wow.
And her clothes on her back. And we got them to Key West, Florida. And when we pulled up to Key West, the Coast Guard had a receiving center there, and that's where they were dispersed, into the United States. It's 90 miles of rough road right there. It's tough.
Yeah, sounds tough. What are some reasons you joined the military?
What's that?
What are some reasons you joined the military?
Well, it was getting to the age where I had to go into some branch, Air Force or Marines, whatever, and I was brought up on the water.
Yeah.
I love the ocean, so I said, I got to go to the Coast Guard. And then they shipped me to Boston. After boot camp, I put 12 weeks in boot camp.
Wow.
Cape May, New Jersey. And they transferred me to Boston headquarters. And I was there for about 3 or 4 days, and there's a list on the wall what ship I wanted to go on. So I picked the McCullough. It's an old Irish ship,
Oh.
and I got some Irish blood in me. My grandmother comes from County Cork, Ireland. So that's
What was boot camp like?
boot camp is 12 weeks of HELL. So we had to, if you didn't know how to swim, you knew how to swim when you get out of there because they wouldn't let you out. You stayed in boot camp,
Wow.
you know?
I can barely swim.
Huh?
I can barely swim.
Well, if you can't make it and you're a sinker, they put everybody in a big pool, and they ask you just lay back, and boop, you go to the bottom. He's a sinker. This guy's a floater. He just floats. It's the oxygen in your body. You can float for so long, and then you're going down to Davy Jones's locker, the bottom. It's the most rewarding morning in my life was when I woke up out to sea one morning, and I didn't smell any diesel fuel. I could smell bread.
Oh.
We ran out of store-bought bread, so the cooks had to bake bread, and that went through the ship like wildfire. You know, it's homemade bread for breakfast.
Was it good?
Yeah. My mother didn't believe me. I said, I'll bring you a loaf home. I brought a loaf home. She said, oh my God, you guys cooked? I said, yeah, we got to cook. We ran out of bread. We leave Boston to go on patrol. It's over a month. I says, the store-bought bread doesn't last a month. And so we had to bake. That was a good thing. One good thing, which is coming up Monday, is St. Patrick's Day. And I had to watch on St. Patrick's Day. And so I'm up on the bridge where the wheel is. So I got a pipe reveille. I was a bosun mate. And I piped through the whole ship, reveille, up all the hands. The new breakfast meal is being served right now. And there was a guy standing next to me. He said, hey, give me the mic. I said, what for? She said, I'm going to do something. I said, you're going to tell me what you're going to do. He said, all right, I'll tell you. So he told me what he's going to do. I said, all right. So he threw all the switches up again through the whole ship. And Jack Hannigan started this thing, when Irish eyes are smiling, through the whole ship. And I said, okay. I didn't get in trouble for that. That was, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. I'm going to shut down unless you have one more question.
I have two more.
Okay.
How did your service shape you as a person?
That's a good one. I left Diamond Vocational in 1961, and 64 I went in the military. From 61 on to 64, I was painting signs commercially for another company, not my company. And so I learned a lot there with customers and friends and to help them out. I did a lot of work for nothing, but a girl came in one time, she was this big with her mother, she wanted a banner. She was a Girl Scout. So I made a banner for her. And when she came to pick it up, the mother says, well, where's the bill? I said, there's no bill. What do you mean there's no bill? She says, there's no bill. I said, just enjoy it. So he was in a parade in New Bedford. And so there's an old saying that if you throw a slice of bread in the ocean, a loaf comes back, And next question.
Do you have any advice for someone joining the military?
Well, first of all, my advice would be a thank you for sacrificing your life, really. And because no matter what branch you go in, there's always some tough moments, and sometimes you don't make it,
Mm-hmm.
So you're sacrificing your life for the flag,
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's just There's other countries that do the same thing. You know, that's my logo right there.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
That was it. That's great. That was
Okay, champ.